Well, I have a brand new thermostat that I'm going to be installing today. Hey folks, welcome back to GeekSmart. So, I have a brand new ecobee thermostat that ecobee graciously sent over to me to show you guys. And this is going to be the install video on my GeekSmart channel on the new ecobee. Now, I actually currently am running the ecobee 4, which, for all intents and purposes, is a fantastic thermostat. However, it's time to upgrade to the new one. One thing you're going to notice here real quick is that, well, it's exactly the same size as the old one and actually can use the exact same mount on the wall. However, we are going to go through a little bit of everything of how to actually do this install. So we're going to bring it in here first, and we're going to talk about what's in this box, and then we'll start there. Alright, so I've already unsealed it and everything, but we're going to open up the box here. So we have the thermostat itself, which has these protective sheets of plastic on it, as they always do to keep it protected. Thermostat, obviously, it actually plugs into a wall module, so it makes it really easy to quick unplug and everything. You have your speaker that's built into it, which the new ecobee here is supposed to be a lot louder than the older one was, a lot more capable of actually doing things. This new sensor is actually quite a bit different. The old sensor were pretty flat. This one actually has a little stand that it comes with, a little bit different than the old stand. Let's put that back in there. In here in the ecobee system here, we have all the instructions. If you want to use their labeling scheme, so if you have your old thermostat and you want to label each wire as it's being unplugged, you can do that here. Same thing goes, what I like to do is I actually like to take my phone and just take a picture of, after you take the thermostat off the wall and you see the wires, take a picture so you know what every wire is going to. But if you want to use the labels, by all means, you can use the labels. It definitely helps if you have, if the colors don't match up as accurately or as normal, but that's that. We also have a wall plate, which can go on the wall. You don't have to use this wall plate. However, if you do have some damage to your wall, or the hole in the wall is bigger than the new thermostat plate, which is a lot smaller. Look at that. If the hole in your wall or the damage to your wall is bigger than this, then you have this plate that can go on first, and so it goes, and you can see how they. Let's see if I can get it to line up. Jeez. Then you can see where the holes line up there and there. So that is an optional plate. You do not have to use that. So set that. That's the obviously the thing where all the wires go. You can actually plug the wires into the side, and then the actual ecobee itself plugs into those face holes on here, is basically. So there's that. So let's stick that back on there. Down here below, we have wall mounting pieces for the thermostat, as well as what looks like a little wall mounting piece for the sensor, the room sensor. And you can do this one of two ways. You can use this little doodad here, this little doodad. Should plug into the bottom here. Oh, it's actually magnetic this year. Look at that. That is awesome. So magnetic stand, so then we can actually use the sensor on a table or up on a shelf or something. Or, this one's not magnetic. It plugs into that, and then we actually have, it looks like adhesive on the back here. And then also a small hole for a screw, so you can actually secure it to the wall if you'd like. So obviously this year it looks like it's going to stick out from the wall a lot more than last year's. Then again, once it's on the wall, it's not really a big deal. Probably to start, I'm probably just going to use the magnetic stand. I like that. That's pretty cool. So we'll use that. Like I said, they have the drywall anchors and stuff in here, and then this guy is for people that have a furnace that when you unplug your thermostat, and when I get upstairs I'll show you, if you do not have a common wire, so your common wire here is going to be your blue wire. If you do not have one that's actually plugged into a C or a common port on your thermostat, that means there's no power going to the thermostat, which is also a reason that your thermostat runs on batteries. Now, most non-smart thermostats run on batteries, but if you do have a common wire, it will power this thermostat. This thermostat does not run on batteries at all. So, at your furnace, and I'm going to show you this before we get going, you can actually just take your 4-wire run that you typically have and actually plug this into the wires that are going up to the thermostat, and then these now go into your furnace to power and actually send power from the common and inject it basically into the feed for the 4-wire. So let's go over to the furnace real quick before we head upstairs to look at the thermostat. I'm going to just say real quick that I am not an expert by any means, but if you want to look at and go by the instructions in the book, they go by all the steps of how the wires go in here, all for various furnaces and everything, all in here. And they explain in here even what that adapter, if you have a C wire, you don't need the adapter. If you don't have a C wire, then we're talking about the adapter. So definitely go over your booklet if you're not comfortable with doing this install. It's definitely a great little place to start. Okay, so this is my furnace, which is a Carrier Performance Series furnace. So this is going to vary depending on your model. But in the lower section, this is where we're going to open. And how you open your furnace is going to be a little bit different. However, this is mine. On most furnaces, you'll find where wires are connected. This is actually the thermostat wires coming down right here. And so if we actually look, and let me get you a little closer here. So you can see these small wires coming in from the thermostat right here. These are the thermostat wires. This is the air conditioning wires, right? So these, I'm not worried about these. I'm worried about this set right here, which is actually currently looks like a 6-wire set. And there's a 7th wire that's actually just held back. Those wires, they go into, there's W2, the G for green, there's the actual common wire, then we have the white or W1, then we have the yellow, and then we have the red one down here. These other two, the red and white one here, like I said, are for the air conditioner unit, so that's going to my AC unit. But those are the wires. If you do not have a common wire, basically what you would do is this, you would actually, like I said, I would take a photo of this. You would unhook these pieces here. You would actually hook these up to the proper ones. So whatever one your red wire is connected to, that's what the red one's going to go to. The green one, the white one, and the yellow one, they're all going to go to the proper spots. And then the 4-wire that's coming from your thermostat, that's what actually plugs into the back right here. So, and they're labeled RGYW. So red, green, yellow, white is usually what you're going to find, as long as it's color-coded to match here as well. So that's what it looks like at the furnace. It's not as hard as you think, as it may appear. It's really easy, but that's where you'd start. But let's head up to the thermostat. I want to say one more thing. Typically when you open these doors, the power actually kills to the entire furnace, so that switch is actually a power switch. But to be safe, if you're actually going to be doing wires where you're going to be disconnecting that specifically common wire, if you have a switch on the side of your furnace, flick that switch and kill the power to the actual furnace, so that way you're not dealing with a live load. It also is a very smart idea when we're going upstairs, even to mess around with the thermostat up there. If you're going to mess over with the wires there, come down, deactivate all the power to the thermostat. This actually will kill all power to the entire system. Flick that switch, then go up and deal with the thermostat. I'm not going to be dealing with a whole lot of wires, so I'm not going to turn it off, but good thing to do. Okay, so here we are. This is currently my ecobee 4. Now, if you had unplugged the thermostat, or I should say, hit the switch down there on the furnace, this would be off. But in order to remove mine, and this is going to be the same way you're going to remove the new one, you just pull straight out. A lot of furnaces, a lot of thermostats, I'm sorry, will do this as well. They'll just pull straight off the actual wall. Some of them will come apart more than anything else. Let me grab something. So this is the original thermostat that was here, just an old school White Rogers, you know, simple thermostat. And they actually, these corners you can see when they're on the wall, because they're actually mounted. You can see the screw pieces there. You mount it and you just pull them apart. And this is where they're actually wired. And so this is what you would actually be taking a photo of. And if you actually watch an old video of my ecobee 3 install video, I actually installed from this one. This is the one I would have had. So it looks a little bit different than this, but more than anything, just go by color code. You can see they're all these wires are plugged into the different items, and we're going to match those up. So you can see the orange one that actually isn't plugged in down there at all. That's a separate one that will probably be for a humidifier when I add it. That's going right there. However, so you can see how the wall mount goes. This big piece slips on, you know, you put them together, and then you just screw through. Because I actually have holes here for the old thermostat, so it's a lot wider than the small plate. So I have the big plate on here to cover all those holes, so I don't have to worry about doing any mudding or anything like that. Then we can just take, once we get this on here and we get the wires, make sure that they're flat, right, so they're not sticking out, because the ecobee is going to go all the way against it. They do put a little bubble level in here. Looks like I'm a little off, but there we go. So you can actually make sure that you're perfectly level. And now we can take the new one. Now, if you had the switch off down below, it would not power up yet. But because I don't, because I'm not doing actual wiring, it's going to power up right away. So let's let it, give it a second and let it boot up. Okay, so here we are. We are in the full setup mode. Now we can actually get this thing set up. So we're going to start by let's get started. So at the bottom, we'll hit the let's get started. This will then actually look at what wires are connected. In my case, I only have an RC connected. So I'm going to hit next. I do not have both connected, and that's obviously dependent on your setup. Then it's going to actually show you the wiring diagram that you actually have plugged in. This is a good spot to actually make sure that all of the wires that you actually connected are actually showing that they are connected from the thermostat down to the furnace. In my case, all 6 wires that I have plugged in are good to go and they're in the right spot. So yes, that is correct. I do not have an accessory installed. If you did, you'd obviously change this a little bit. Humidifier, dehumidifier, or ventilator. I do not have any of those above. I'm going to choose degrees Fahrenheit. You can do degrees Celsius if you prefer. Then you can select what you have. I have a furnace. I do not have a boiler. So I'm going to hit next. How do you want a fan to be controlled? Do you want it to be controlled by the thermostat or by the furnace? And then they go over, you know, as more energy efficient, thermostat may actually be better. Using the furnace will reduce the amount of cold air in the ducts when the furnace ignites. You can have your choice. I'm going to do by thermostat. And then you can name your thermostat. So in this case, I'm just going to call it my ecobee. You can name this, and you can change this later as well. Now, how do you want to connect to Wi-Fi? You can use iPhone, iPad, or iPod. Select your Wi-Fi network or skip Wi-Fi setup completely and go back to it later. I'm going to actually use my iPhone because I have an iPhone. And on my device, if I actually go to the settings area, I can go to Wi-Fi and I can connect directly to the ecobee. There it is right down there. And I can choose which network I want it to connect to. I'm going to connect to the same one that my iPhone's connected to. And now it's going to go ahead and connect. So let's give it a few moments. Let's let it do that, and we'll come back to this after it's done. Just got this accessory joined. It's connecting. The bee's going around. Success. It's now connected. Let's hit next. I can get around my phone there. What is the current mode? Currently, I actually have my system turned off. So that is what the current state is. But if you are in the middle of winter, you can turn it on heat. If it's during the summer, you can put it on cool to start off with, or you can put it on auto mode, whatever you choose. I'm going to keep it off currently. What ideal temperature do you keep in the wintertime? 69 degrees. Actually, that's probably close to what we'll start with, so we'll go ahead and hit next. What is the ideal in the summer? We like to keep it a little cooler, so we're going to go to 75 to start. Now, we can always change this later as well. Hit next. Do you want to enable start home and away? Yes, I do. I want it to be as efficient as I can. I live in the United States. My time is Chicago time, Central time. There we go, registration code. Now, we're going to actually open up the app and do the setup from the app. So hopefully you can see this decently. I'm going to open up the app. It's actually going to notice that I already have an account because I've actually used it before with my username being my email. And I'm going to go ahead and put my password in. And then once I go in, from there, once I log in, we can do more. You can also hit create an account down here if you do not have an account currently and create an ecobee account. But that's going to be the first step. Okay, once we sign in, you can already see that I already have a light switch installed, which is down in my basement. So that's not involved, obviously, with the actual thermostat itself. From here, I'm going to add a new thermostat. I'm actually adding a thermostat, not a switch or a room sensor. Let's see, is mine installed? Yes, it is installed. Let's enter the code, and that's 3SR4. So 3SR4, and hit done. Hit next. Now it's going to register the thermostat to my account. It's going to move to my account. Type, I'm going to choose that I have, I guess, a townhouse, whatever. Size, I have 1,1500. I have technically one floor, although technically it's also have a basement. So I'll put 2 floors, that's fine. I actually have technically 5 bedrooms in my house. And my building age is from the 1970s. Hit done. I'm going to keep it as called my ecobee. That's fine for now. An error has occurred. Let's see what's going on here. Well, for some reason it wanted me to change the name to home rather than my ecobee. I don't know why, but whichever. That's fine. So all systems here show me my thermostat. And boom, my thermostat is there. So I can hit finish over here. It's going to show exactly what it is. Registration confirmed. And boom, there we go. Now we're going to want to actually get the smart voice connected and set it up on your ecobee app by clicking on the voice app. All right, let's open up this, and we'll actually hit the voice button here to enable Amazon Alexa. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to sign in with our Alexa account, and we're going to link Alexa to that. So we're just going to log in with our Alexa account here. Give me just a moment. So now it's signing in. Alexa, discover devices. So one of my other Alexa products is actually finding it. I've set it. You successfully linked Alexa. Hit done. So now we should be good with the voice control. There it goes. Congratulations, it's successfully finished. So now we actually have my assistant set up here on the actual ecobee itself. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 6:18 p.m.
And of course we can adjust how much volume is here as well. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 6:18 p.m.
And so we can adjust this all within the app things as well. And I'm not going to get into the full setup of everything here. This is more about getting it on your wall and getting it set up. But as you can see, the setup procedure is actually not too difficult. Now we're going to actually set up the room sensor. Okay, so we're at the thermostat. I'm going to have my app ready on standby here. But we're going to actually start by pulling the power thing on the actual sensor itself. This will actually boot it up and say put sensor in the pairing mode. Got it. But we're going to actually, it's going to DDM4, and that's actually on the back of the sensor too. We're going to actually use the app to actually set this up. So if we click on the menu buttons down here, and we can actually hit on the plus button back here too and add a sensor. So room sensor. It's a smart sensor. That's the new type of sensors. So let's get started. Let's use the camera, and it's actually going to use that little piece of plastic we pulled out. It actually has a QR code on it. We're going to actually use the camera to get that QR code, which is actually going to link this sensor directly to our thing. We pulled it already. ecobee is now pairing. It is successfully paired. I'm actually going to put this in my, let's see, I'm going to actually put it in my kitchen. So I'm going to put, and of course, you can place this wherever you want, and you can buy more of these down the road. I'm going to keep all the sensor capabilities, comfort settings, around 4 foot high on a table or shelf. That's fine. Away from drafts. All systems go. Done. So now I'm going to go put this on the wall where I had my previous sensor. So I was thinking of actually just using the magnetic stand and placing it somewhere here, but I had my old one actually drilled into the wall. If you actually watched my ecobee 4 video, I drilled my little sensor into the wall here, which is slightly above the 4 feet, but gets it out of the way so nobody's worried about it. I actually just put the sensor in the same hole, and boom. Now I have it up mounted just above my phone, about, I would say just over about 5.5, 6 feet up. So not where they kind of want it. They want it a little bit lower than that. And I already had a hole in the wall here. As you can see, these holes here. Prior to me actually living here, there was a hole there. So I'm just using the same hole Eventually I may actually change the location, but I actually found it to be very, very nice where I put it before, so I'm going to probably keep it there. But you can place these wherever you want, and they're now smart sensors, so they actually should give us better data. So that is the full install of the new smart thermostat by ecobee. Now, just like the ecobee 4, this is a smart thermostat that has full voice control. And while we went into depth of how to actually do the full physical install, I kind of skipped over some of the more features rich and things like that. We set it up with your account. If you want to see more of the in-depth detail within the menu system itself, check out the full review down below. It's on my Tech Gooch channel, which is my main channel. I'm going to let that speak for itself in that video. That is out available today as well, because today is release day. So this smart thermostat is now available for you to purchase if you would like to. So that said, thank you very much for ecobee to sending this over to me, because fantastic product for the full setup, but also for the entire use that I've been able to try it out. I've loved it, and I can't wait for you guys to check out the full review over on Tech Gooch. That said as well, I do have other install videos from the ecobee 4 as well as the ecobee 3 behind it, before it, I guess. So if you want to check out some of those older videos, they're down below as well. So check those out. Comment, subscribe, share this video, like it, love it. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, we'll catch you over on Tech Gooch. Yeah, Tech Gooch. For the full review. So we'll see you over there. Thanks for stopping by, guys.